So welcome to the new planner tutorial for 2024. If you've got any shared tasks to do across your organization, then Microsoft Planner is still the best thing to use pragmatically, usually. And we're going to go through some of the nuances, how to get the most out of your Microsoft license in terms of task management in today's video, given the new planner has just come out, promising to combine Microsoft To Do, Microsoft Planner and Microsoft Project on the web. So stick around until the end for all of that. I'm Gavin Jones, founder and director at MeTime, where we help organizations be more efficient, happening to get the most out of Microsoft 365 for them. If you want to see what benefits you can unlock, then book a call using the link in the description below. Okay, so the new planner is out. We will come on to some of the features of the new planner as we go through the video. To get started, the quickest, easiest, simplest way that you can get started without understanding many of the nuances that you might care or might not care about. If you've got a project you want to run and you want some tasks just to be assigned to people, Planner's good because it chases people up when you assign them a task, so it takes away some of the chasing. And if you've got a relatively light project, like you just want to dole out some tasks and get people to do them, then the easiest way to get started is to add a planner app into an existing team. And we'll come on to some of the nuances around Microsoft Groups and why to do that. But if you just want to get started, come into an existing team, Microsoft team. In this example, we've set up a separate channel for our project. Just to note while I think of it, anything in a team, the permissions are done for the whole team. So if you add a planner into this channel, anybody in the team could see that plan. Still, at the time of recording, you can't add a plan into a private channel or into a shared channel. So we're in a normal channel. Anyone on the team could see this. Click add a tab and click planner. And then here you'll start to see some of the nuances around the new planner. You can't actually create a new premium plan via this method, but for this first start of the video, we're just going to go through normal plans, not premium ones. And so we can add a new plan. We can pick an existing plan from this team. So if you did want to add a premium plan, you could go into the planner app, which we're going to go into in a sec, in Teams, add a premium plan into that team, and then come back into the channel to pin it. But we'll have a look at that in a sec. So we're going to just create a new normal plan, and here we are, it's done. It doesn't look that exciting right now. So you get just one bucket to do. You can add as many new buckets as you want. We're currently in the board view. We've got grid view. We've got some calendar options and some built-in charts, which are usually good enough for just light project management, light task management for your team. So in this example, we're thinking of like just running a team meeting or some normal day-to-day stuff that managers need to get done or individuals need to get done as part of a team. If you want to do like full-on project management, if you are a project manager, your title is project manager, then you probably want like Gantt charts and stuff, and that's in Planner Premium, which we'll come on to a little bit later. But for most people, Planner is going to be good enough just to manage those sort of light tasks. So I don't particularly like the list view in Planner. I will stick in the board view, and you don't need to have other buckets if you don't want. We can just start typing our tasks. Say we're in a team meeting, and I don't know, there's action for the next meeting, which I can't think of right now. Maybe schedule next meeting, because everyone likes to have meetings about other meetings. And you can quite quickly just list out all the actions that are coming out live. And then as you see, they're just cards, nothing really happens with those after we just typed it in. You can assign and set a due date at the time that you enter the task if you know that straight away, but I think it's just easier just to bash stuff out and then go back in and edit it. If we then click on the card, it opens up a bigger view and all of the options we can get in a non-premium plan. Main ones being, we'll just assign it to somebody and set a due date, and then we know that person is going to get chased up, and we know, which we'll come on to, that feeds through and shows that individual all of their tasks across any plan, wherever they've been assigned to it, with some caveats. in one place, which is really handy to keep stuff in the Microsoft ecosystem, and therefore some of the downsides of Planner, which we'll come on to, sort of negate, given that that is, everyone's got access to it if you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, and they can see all their tasks assigned to them in one place, which is really handy. So just to note, as we're on this card, you do get a progress indicator. So you can got not started, in progress, completed, and therefore we don't really want buckets that overlap that, which some of the templates that Microsoft offer do that, and I would recommend against it, because you can already see by not started, in progress, completed. You can have some priorities. Urgent surely would be driven by the due date rather than the priority. I'm not sure. Urgent for me is based on time. Importance is on importance, but that's just me. And if you've got something that's urgent, probably don't just mark it urgent in Planner. You might just need to phone round. Don't add someone a task that the building's on fire and say, well, I marked it urgent. That's not really going to be that urgent. You can do start date and end date in a non-premium plan, but it doesn't really do anything apart from clog up your calendar. But if that's useful to you, then that's cool. If you want dependencies and stuff like a null project manager would do, that you're going to need a premium plan, which we'll come on to later. You can put notes in there, which is handy, and you can have checklist items. If I just scribble some text, and you see if we put something else in that card behind the scenes, it's like start to show that on the body of the card, which I think is pretty cool. But you can show some other things on the card. So we could put some notes in and have the notes shown on the body of the card. Obviously, we can tick show on card, and it changes what's shown on the card. You can only show one thing at a time. You can add an attachment. So if you do it from your computer, it's going to upload it. If you do it from Teams files or a link, then that would be preferable in my opinion. And if you do from Teams files, obviously we can see into the team that the plan is in. So we've already got the channels there, and if we drill into those, we can go and pick how many files in the project one. But if we go and say pick this collaboration Excel document, you can even then show that on the front of the screen, and sometimes it gives you a nice little preview like we've got there. I don't think there's anything in that file, which is why it looks a bit, I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but it looks quite white, just grids. And the comments whilst I'm here is worth noting. So that doesn't work how most lay people would assume it works. So if I've made a task and I've assigned it to one person in my team, you might then assume that I could come in to this card and say, how's it going? And that would notify the person that I've assigned it to. That isn't the case. It only notifies people that have already commented on that card, which I think could be better. Being polite, that could be better. The comments could just work the way any comments in every other Microsoft app work, but just know that they don't. You can't mention anybody in the comments. The comments don't notify anyone unless they've already commented on it. So you could have a business process where you say, look, if I assign you a task, then just come in and just make a quick comment on it, so that if I then comment on it as a manager, I know it's going to notify you. I guess that's where you can pin it into the team and then use the team for the collaboration. So maybe just don't use comments at all. It's up to you how you want to work it in your organization. But yeah, it's not that useful. And just to note, it probably doesn't work as you might expect. Whilst we're still on the card, you can click the three dots. You can copy a task, move a task. We'll have a look at dragging around anyway. Copy is useful. And also, just to note, you don't need to complete all of the checklist items before you can complete the task. And you can't assign checklist items to people. It's just literally just a note of other stuff to do. But the main task is the thing that's going to be completed and assigned. So if you did want the same task to be completed by different people, the best way to do that is, rather than having one task with multiple people assigned to it, because then that's just one thing that multiple people are working on. As soon as one person clicks completed, it makes it complete for everyone else. An example, in my corporate job, we used to have the same thing that people need to enter in their forecasts across multiple different accounts. You can't then create one task saying, put this new product in your forecast and assign it to 50 people, because then if one person completes that task, it makes it complete for all those 50 people, and 49 of them might have not completed the task yet. If you want to do that in Planner, you create one task, put this in your forecast, assign it to somebody, and then copy it 50 times and assign it 50 times, which might be a bit of a pain, but that's what you can do in the free version of Planner. Say free, the version of Planner that's included in your Microsoft license. So then you can mess around with buckets. So if you've got a process that doesn't just overlap not started, in progress, done, if I show you that, you can change what your view is. So we're viewing by bucket, you can view it by assigned to. So you can see there's some not assigned and some assigned to me. So you might want to check out that view to then go and assign it to people. Once you've got a few people assigned, you can just drag it in and it'll the bucket's alive. If you drag it off to us unassigned, it'll take that assigned off. If you drag it on to somebody, it will assign it to them. And you can quickly change the due date there, obviously, like we've just done before. And then progress, you don't need buckets to monitor progress because we've already got not started, in progress, completed. You can filter by due date, and it sort of does a smart date categorization, so it doesn't just tell you the date. It's like next week, next month, today, tomorrow type dates. And then what we didn't talk about, we'll have a look at priority, have urgent, important, like just the bucket views of the priority. What we didn't talk about was labels. So sometimes there's some confusion. If we open the card again, you can add a label here. Buckets you can drag things between. Labels you can also drag things between if you're on the label view, but the default view every time you go into a planner is buckets. So I guess that gives you some idea of the importance of how to think about buckets. Like I said in another video, you can't change the order these come in. So if you wanted like the first three, you can change what the label is. So maybe, I don't know, that's HR, maybe that's logistics, and maybe yellow's finance. You can't actually change those colors. Like you could pick, I want cranberry to be HR, but then you can't make that the top. So then you've got like a list of colors and then randomly HRs like down here, which might be a pain for you. I don't find myself using labels that much, but also the difference between labels and buckets is you can have multiple labels for one task, but a task can only be in one bucket at a time. So we could tag that if it's a mix of HR finance, we could tag it HR and finance. So then when we view by label, look, it's got that task in two places, and if we dragged it onto logistics, it actually takes it off finance and onto logistics, and it's still showing two. If we dragged it off there onto there, it just takes it off HR. So it does kind of update live for you, but given that you can have multiple labels per task or per card, that might get confusing for you, I'm not sure. But yeah, if we come back onto the default bucket view, then some good buckets. So like I use Planner for my content creation. So I've got like ideas to write or to record, to edit. So like expanding out what's in progress, I guess, is good. But once I've started it, it's in progress, and I'm just dragging it across the buckets. And I would never complete something until it's gone into the end bucket and then completed. Other ones that I've seen useful in corporate jobs is when if you've got like an on-running team meeting, you could have buckets for each month's meeting, assuming that most people don't do the task by the time the next meeting comes round. Or you can use, like someone might use Trello, because I guess Trello's a cards. Planner's more like tasks, because you've got like the inbuilt completion field in there. But you could use them like cards, and so we've also used it for like ideas generation. So, well, for the next meeting, what are your ideas for the agenda? Stick them on Planner, and then someone goes through and assigns them and gives them a time if it's on, and if not, we'll bump it out to the next meeting. So in the buckets, we would have like this month, next month, and that's like next month's meeting. So if something we did, I think, oh, well, I've got an agenda item that I've called it agenda item 1, I might assign it to myself so the person knows that who's that's from, and then someone will go through and say, well, actually, we have run out of time for this month, I'm going to bump it onto next month, or it's on and we're going to do it on this date, here's the date of the meeting. So a few different ways that you might use buckets, but it is pretty flexible. But like I said, the main benefit of Planner is that you can assign it to someone, and if it's got a due date, it's going to tell them that you've assigned them a task. It's going to chase them up or remind them before that task is due. So it'll say the task is due this week. The task is due tomorrow, the task's due today, and it also chases them up if they haven't done it. So if the task was due yesterday, and then every 3 sort of days it says, you know, you've got overdue tasks in Planner that you need to go and sort out. So that's the easiest access point into Planner. If you need it for shared tasks, that is the go-to app in Microsoft ecosystem to use. Don't bother trying to use Microsoft To Do and assigning tasks out there. In my opinion, just use Planner in a team and you get started pretty quick and go ahead and go. The new bit of Planner is the new Planner app in Teams. So you can get Planner in a web view. Obviously, we're looking at Planner through a channel. And also there's Planner in a sidebar, which is the new version of Planner, and it's got a nice new logo. If you don't see it in your sidebar, it'll be in this View More Apps, so you can just search for Planner, and it's there. If we click on it, it'll jump to the one we've got. And if you right-click, you can pin it to your sidebar if you haven't already. And once you've pinned it, you can sort of drag it up and down, depending on where you want it to live. You can pop it out into a new window if you want. I don't find myself doing that particularly often, to be honest. Rather than just using it in a Teams window, I just jump out into a web browser and use it in there. And then in the web browser, you do get, you know, have the other functionalities, have like different backgrounds and things. Here's my sort of content plan of videos that I mentioned. And yeah, it looks a bit nicer rather than popping out in Teams. Got new videos on Microsoft at Work coming out at least every Tuesday, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified whenever they come out. For right now, the new Planner as Microsoft Badget is only available in Teams. So that's trying to bring projects on the web together with Planner. First thing I think to mention is that the new Planner in Microsoft Teams has the notion of basic and premium plans. So you see, start with a list on the board. That's what we've just done. Basic is exactly what we've just done. It's just a normal Planner plan. And you can see that we can create a new plan. Pinned plans is just your view down the side here, so it's easy to get back to. And then add it to a group is getting into the nuances of Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Groups and SharePoint sites. So that's why I said if you just want to get started, just go and add it to an existing team. You can add it to a group, an existing group, which most of them are going to be teams. But when you set up a new planner from scratch, if you then add it into an existing group, then it'll just be a private plan. So here's one that we've set up before. Here's one we made earlier in Blue Peter terms. Private plan test. So this then says it's private to you. So you can have a place where you just got a planner board that you want to move stuff around. My content plan might be just for me and I just don't want anyone to see it, and it's private. So that's kind of handy. If we then want to share, you can, which you couldn't do when you set up the plan, create a new group. So if you went into Planner on the web and created a new plan, it would create a new group for you. If you're in a bigger organization, they might have turned that off because you end up with loads of clutter. Because when you set up a Microsoft group, it sets up a SharePoint site, it sets up SharePoint pages, it sets up a shared OneNote, everything but a team. If you set up a Microsoft team, it does all of that and a team. So that's why if you've got your team structure sorted, probably not a good idea to have loads of other plans set up because it's creating loads of other groups in the background, which IT might not like. But you can also add it to an existing group from here or create a brand new group. I would advise to just keep it in your team's structure, even if you're a smaller organization, just so you don't get lost of where things are saved and things live and permissions later down the line, especially if you're a startup and growing. So there is a lot of nuance in Microsoft, and in Planner is no exception, which does cause some people to just go, I'll just go out and use monday.com because it's a bit easier. But if you get over some of the nuances, then Planner is the most accessible thing to use, I would say, because you're already in the Microsoft ecosystem. Everyone's already got a license. You can see everyone there that's going to get assigned, rather than needing to get people signed up onto a different app. So private plans, you can do the same things as basic plans. And then if we do a new premium plan, that is just essentially a project on the web plan, project on the web project. So you can see there it says we've got Copilot, timeline, goals, and more. Copilot actually only comes in project on the web plan 3, which someone was kind enough to mention in a previous video, which I now have, so I can show you a bit of that. And some of the things that we're excited about that might come into Planner when Microsoft announced a new planner, like version control, don't exist in the basic planner plan. So if we came in and did, I don't know, a new task and a new bucket, and dragged this task around between them, if we click on here, we can't see what has changed. So someone could come in and by accident move things between buckets or complete a task, and we have no idea who did it. Oh, well, apart from when we complete it, it says completed by Gavin Jones. That was a good example. But if we move things around between buckets, we've got no idea who did it. And if we delete it, so we can't undo. If I do Command or Control Z, it doesn't undo what we've done. And so that is a bit of a miss, I would say, from Microsoft. If we delete it, you can see it says deleted. There's no undo button down here. And if we do Control Command Z, nothing happens. We can't get it back. Some of that is available in a premium plan. So if we did a new plan, did premium plan, create a new premium plan from scratch, you see we get the same sort of dialog box when we do it from the Teams app. Put a name in, we can add it to my pinned plans if you want, and you can add it to an existing group if you wanted to. But the default is you're creating a private premium planner plan, which is just a Microsoft project on the web project. So this then, premium plans unlock all the other stuff that you would think you want to do if you're a project manager. So you've got a list view where you can have default columns or lots of other columns that you want to add in. If I jump on to get started with project, it's got a few more things in there that I've already put in. So you can have like a quick look of the checklist, who's it assigned to, start and end dates, duration, plan to complete, effort in hours. You can add conditional colouring and stuff if you wanted to. All the good stuff that you would do if you're a proper project manager. You still get the bucket view, which if you're not using buckets as part of your sort of Gantt chart, might be confusing, because I guess you could add a view that has got bucket in it. But if you do some of the things that you can do on the front of the card, actually given all the power of Microsoft Project on the web, might do stuff that you wouldn't expect. So if you click on like the end date, all you can see is the end date there. I was like, oh, I just want to move it to Friday. It's well, actually, it's made a little star thing, and it's like, well, now you've added a constraint. Task is set to finish no earlier than 29th of the 3rd. That might mess up the Gantt chart because it's already got dependencies and things in there. So that's just worth bearing in mind when you look at the board view of a premium plan or a project on the web project. Whilst I am thinking about it, the goal is for like whether you're using a premium plan or a basic plan, that anyone that you need to go and do those tasks can see whatever you need them to see. So that is admirable goal. At the time of recording, there are some nuances. So because it's rolling out, if you've got an E3 or E5 license, you can have some like basic editing, and if you're on a business premium or business standard license, sounds like you can't do that unless you've got a project license. But the general gist is that if you're in a shared project, whether that is a project on the web plan or a Microsoft Planner plan, like basic or premium, in new terminology, the project managers would have the project license and do all the Gantt charts and stuff, assign it to people, and then the people that just need to go and do their task that don't need all that Gantt chart stuff can just see the same things as if it was a basic plan. So they can still go and edit whether they're completed it or not, and all of the overlapping features, as it says here, will be available in just a standard plan. And any non-overlapping features, so like dependencies, custom fields, you still need a project license to edit. So that's pretty cool, I think, but just note that when you first get this, if you're trying to do this at the time of recording, that might not be there for you right now. Similarly, I think, as I mentioned in the previous video, if you assign something to somebody in a premium plan right now, That doesn't feed back through into one place, but that should hopefully be coming very soon, and we'll show you that in a sec. So you get the timeline view, the Gantt chart, which project management staple. You definitely need a Gantt chart view if you're a project manager, and yeah, you can do all the stuff that you would expect to do, I would think. So you can change, whether it goes start to start, end to end, all the dependencies, and drag things around if you know that they're being delayed on there, or if you like to use the grid view, you can do it all through here, and wherever you are, if you click on the open details icon, then you can see all of the stuff that you can change in here. So you can still have checklists, put effort in, you can add your dependencies and dependency types, and put attachments and things in there if you want. So the thing that was missing from a non-premium plan, so if we got this test delete one here, if we move that around, look, and then go into the card and into this little time icon, it's showing me what you might expect would be available in the basic plan, which I'm not sure Microsoft don't just add it into there. Bizarrely, someone told me, which I think I've just said in a comment, that you need Project Plan 3 to get these changes rather than Project Plan 1. So not only do you need to pay extra just to get the premium plan, but then you need to pay extra again. So I think it's like £25 a month to get access to see what's been changed, which I think is a bit much, in my opinion. I wouldn't, it should just be included as a standard thing to be able to see what's been changed. But it is what it is. If you want that, it's Project Plan 3. So you can see what's been changed, and then if you delete the task, you've actually got an undo. So you've got to pay 25 quid a month just to get undo, which I think, which is funny. So yeah, you can undo the action and see what's been changed in your tasks, which might be handy. You get the charts view, which is similar to a basic plan chart, so some out of the box charting for you. And then you also get people, so you can see what's been assigned to people, and like a bucket view, drag it between people if you want to reassign some things. You get some view options. So you've got compact mode, which you can see, if you turn that off, you get some bigger view of the cards. And you can show it by hours rather than tasks if you wanted to, and you can group it by whatever you want. So that's to do with the groupings underneath each person. So you can group it by labels, progress. Progress might be a nice one. And then goals, you can add a goal. I think I'm not massively keen on this feature, because you can have, like, in your timeline view, you would have milestones and things in your view. And so then the goals feature, I'm not sure why would you use a goal. It seems like quite an overlap. But yeah, why would you put an end date from something that you're gonna connect tasks, so that we can connect it to that task, and then like that's to do with this goal? I don't know. It's just a bit weird, especially because it overlaps with Viva goals, which is where you will have your like overall annual sort of cascade of goals and objective and key results down to people. And then this is then project specific, obviously, but then the goal is presumably just to complete the project. So I don't know why you'd want separate goals, given that you would probably, if you were a project manager, probably used to arranging your project like this anyway, with like sub-tasks and milestones and things. So let me know what you think. If you're a project manager, is goals useful? Let me know in the comments below. So you get all of that in Project Plan 1, apart from the being able to see what's happened to a task in your Project Plan 3 for that. In addition, you get view assignments. I think I'm right in saying you get view assignments. Seem to pop up after I got a new license anyway, where you can go and do some proper resource management of like, well, how many hours is it going to take someone, and seeing what days they're going to do the work on and stuff like that. Group by resource, group by task, all the stuff you probably are used to doing in Microsoft projects of old. And then so the other thing you get at Project Plan 3 is Copilot. If you've got Copilot, if you've got Microsoft 365 Copilot, or Copilot for Microsoft 365, you still need a Project Plan 3 license to get Copilot in Project Planner or Planner Premium or Project on the Web. It says introduce a Copilot, use the power of AI to help you get started from scratch, from existing files to refine text and more. So to get started, you can build a whole plan. So maybe we'll jump into one that's blank. Create goals to grow the business. So it doesn't know what my plan is about, but it's still giving me some suggestions. Add an unassigned bucket. That's completely useless. Don't need that. Add a task with subtasks for user research scenarios. Well, it doesn't know what I'm doing yet. So let's build a plan for content creation for YouTube videos on Microsoft 365. Let's see what it is. This is the first time I've tried it, so I'm not excited about using Copilot. I think if you've got a project, you probably know what tasks need to be done. I'm not sure Copilot's going to help, but let's see. Let's see together. Anything you do in Copilot, you can undo. Built a plan for creating YouTube videos on Microsoft 365. So it's stuck it all in bucket one. Let's go on to our grid view. Brainstorm video topics. Create content calendar. Well, that is this, isn't it? Anyway. Write scripts for videos, film and edit videos, publish. Yeah, fine. So you can get it to redo it or just undo it. Create a goal to grow the business. What business? I don't know. It doesn't know either. So I'm just going to see what it's going to do. Increase customer retention rate by 5%. I mean, it's just, if this is useful to you, let me know in the comments below. I'm not sure that I would use Copilot to help me with building plans or even tasks. You don't have to use it, obviously, but I need to pay extra to use it. The goal is, whether it's in a premium plan or a normal plan, whatever it is, even if it's in Microsoft To Do, you can see every single place that you've got tasks in the Microsoft ecosystem, all in one place under My Plans. If they're important, you can go and pin them into the left-hand sidebar. So you can actually click this pin button or click the three dots and pin. And you can look at recent things that are shared, personal, pinned, or things that from a team. And then in My Tasks, this is where in Assigned to Me, in theory, wherever you've got a task assigned to you, it should feed back through in this Assigned to Me list. At the time of recording, that isn't true for premium plans, i.e. project on the web plans or projects, but that's coming very soon. And so that's really useful to keep stuff in the Microsoft ecosystem, because wherever it is, you can go and see it back in this list. You know everything that you need to do. My Day is going to show you stuff that's due that day. Again, at the time of recording, that doesn't happen from a premium plan or a Microsoft on the web project. I'm not sure if that is coming soon. They've just mentioned the Assigned to Me bit. I'm assuming that they will do that at the same time, but never assume. So if something's not working, that might be some of the nuance of why it's not working. And if you want to assign something to your day that's not due that day, you just want to do it that day, you can come in and click on the three dots in the list and then go and add to My Day. And then it'll show in your list. So I do use that quite a lot in Microsoft To Do. I don't find myself using the Planner app, to be honest, but it is the thing that's new in Microsoft Planner world, the new planner combining project on the web and Microsoft Planner and Microsoft To Do. So I find myself doing My Day in Microsoft To Do. I don't find myself using this app in the sidebar, but what is useful is pinning it into a team, because you're already in the team to go and collaborate anyway, and you've got your tasks right there. And if you had a premium plan or a project on the web project, you can pin that in as well and then chat about the tasks. So if we just jump out into Test Premium Planner, rather, if we go into this one, you can see we've got the option to, it says open in a channel to view and reply to conversations about this task. So it's jumping us out into view the same thing via a tab, and there we could have a chat around what's going on, what the fudge is going on with this task is what I've already put in there, and that's going to keep that thread of information coming soon. And then if we jump out into the posts, it's going to be in there as well. So it's sort of aligning our message thread around a task, which is going to be useful. If we click on it, it's going to jump us back into that premium plan where we've got all the same things. I don't know why Microsoft loves having a grey background when it's in Teams, which is different to a normal plan, which is white. I don't know, but maybe they're changing that as well. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Is the new planner useful for you? I think just trying to keep everything in the Microsoft ecosystem is usually the best pragmatic thing for most people in most organizations. If you're a project manager, you've got premium plans which can still get most of those benefits of the Microsoft ecosystem. Let me know if you're a project manager, if you find this useful in the comments below. And also let me know if you are a Trello, Asana, Monday ClickUp user that's also got Microsoft, what's missing that would make you jump back into Microsoft. That'd be really interesting. Let me know in the comments below. But Thanks for watching so far. If you haven't already, give the video a thumbs up. If you liked it, click the subscribe button and the bell icon. We've got new videos on Microsoft at Work coming out at least every Tuesday. If you need more help, then you can join the channel by clicking the join button just underneath the video, where it helps support the channel to keep new videos coming out. Also, depending on your tier, you can get early access into getting your questions answered quicker. And if you really need some help and want some one-to-one face-to-face time, you can join our group Q&A calls live and get access to some other training videos, all via YouTube, just clicking the join button underneath the video. And if you need help for your entire organisation, then book a call using the link in the description below. Help organisations be more efficient. Happily choose Microsoft 365 to do it. But thanks for watching so far, and we'll see you in the next one.